As you heard, my name is Wolfgang Heinze, Head of Country for the Friedrich Naumann Foundation Philippines office. And I'm very happy to be here today and to see all of you. So happy that you could make it today. Let me just talk a little bit about, what FNF does, where do we come from, why do we exist, why we're having this learning series. This is actually another chapter of our learning series we had on other topics already. And if you're interested and haven't seen them yet, please visit our FNF Philippines, It's All About Freedom Facebook page, where we have all the talks on video. And why we're having this specific talk about freedom of expression, of course, with our foremost expert, John Neri, who is opinion columnist at the Philippine Daily Inquirer. And we're very, very happy to have you here today, John. If we talk about the political foundations, I think it's very important to say that we are one of several political foundations from Germany. And the way we exist, why we exist, and how we work is very unique to political foundations. And there is nothing like the political foundations actually in other countries. Basically, all political foundations represent mainstreams of the large political spectrum in Germany. And we are all close to one particular ideology that is represented in the German parliament, the Bundestag. So we, FNF, Friedrich Naumann Foundation for Freedom, we are the liberal foundation and close to the Liberal Party in Germany, while other foundations represent the social democratic streams, or the conservative streams, or the more left-leaning streams, or, for example, the green political train of thought that we have in Germany. And the reason really why we exist in Germany, why we receive government funding is because Germany went to a very dark phase. And we are actually the reason actually is because Germany's darkest phase is the result of why we are here today. Many of you know World War II, 75 years ago, this year, it ended, and how it brought destruction. A war that was started in Germany brought destruction of Manila, actually, and a war, or the largest war we ever fought in humanity, and ended with the use of atomic weapons. The worst weapons that, the biggest weapons that we ever managed to create in that sense and use. And while, the destruction of large parts of the world is already very difficult, us as political foundations, I think what is even worse is Germany did something that no other country, no other citizens could ever do until that time in that large scale, and that is the systematic killing of around 17 million people because of their religious belief, political background, and other ethnical reasons. And the words that come to mind are Auschwitz and other concentration camps that were created, where people were either killed in gas chambers or they were systematically worked to death. And the reason why that was possible, one of the reasons is because these people were stripped of their humanity in a systematic way. The German state was so strong, and that's also a big discussion on how strong should states be. The German state was so strong that it managed to do that and to its own citizens, and we as Germans had to learn the hard way. I mean, we were bombed back into the Stone Age. For German democracy to survive, for a living German democracy to exist, it is not enough to have a good constitution. It is not enough to have checks and balances between executive, legislative, and judicative. It is not enough to have checks and balances between central state, the states or the regions, and local governments. What it boils down, and that I really believe in the German experience, is for a living democracy, you need politically active citizens. You need citizens that not only, put a cross on a ballot every 6 years and then forget about it. What is the government doing? I don't care. You need citizens who actually engage themselves, who are able to question what is going on with this government. Are the policies right? Do they do a good job? Is it something that is without an alternative? And what if it is not? What is the alternative? And that needs to be discussed and thought about by every citizen. Maybe not every day, but on a continuous basis, so that holding account the elected leaders is not something that you do every 6 years for election time, but a continuous process. And that is why, while we work in more than 70 countries worldwide, we, the Friedrich Naumann Foundation, actually use more than 50% of our yearly budget for political education in Germany. Because political education is not something you can just, like a course, you take it and then you're done. No, political education is a discussion that we in Germany have all the time on, latest developments, on the latest policies, on the things that, matter in our lives. And that's why, I'm very, very happy and very proud also of my colleagues that they actually thought about this learning series, because especially in the times of COVID, it is difficult, and then also in the times of, disinformation campaigns, fake news. I'm sure all of you have seen some kind of fake news, for example, on COVID. Most famous one is, you have to put disinfectant with a syringe into your blood system, or drinking hot water. There are all kinds of things. Bill Gates being behind it, all of these kind of strange theories. And during COVID, it's very difficult to speak with people. I mean, we can talk on WhatsApp, we can talk on Zoom, but we don't have that face-to-face discussion where many of these discussions should be. So I'm very happy to have this learning series as a platform to discuss legislation and national issues with policymakers, with experts just like John Neri, and of course with stakeholder groups. Because it's not only the political education, the informed citizens that are important in a country, and also for democracy to thrive. It is, the discussion. It is the citizens talking with each other. The discussion that happens in media, which also, discussions are sometimes critical. Of course, otherwise, if you don't have a critical discussion, then people are also not really thinking about, oh, what could be done better? Whenever you say you could do this better, that's already a critical discussion. So, but it's not about, criticism. It's about making things better. And that is part of a vibrant democracy, because whatever way we live today, tomorrow the circumstances will change. And we need to have a discussion today on how we can make things better tomorrow. And this way, it really is, in my opinion, the way that every citizen holds democracy in their hands. And it is also up to every citizen to be able to improve on how things are done. And that's why I very much believe that we need this learning series. But when we look at, discussion, you need to talk. You need to be able to, bounce off ideas. I love it how I can, with my colleagues, bounce off ideas. Is that good? Is that bad? As head of country, it sounds like I I'm the boss. But in the end, what I say, what I think, is not the end of all knowledge. Knowledge is something that is with all of us, and we need to discuss and we need to find better ways together. So that's why the question of freedom of expression, the question of being able to discuss things also sometimes in a not so easy way, because sometimes I also, when I have my own opinions, I don't like them to be challenged. But if I don't let my opinions be challenged, I will never be able to find or to reach a better opinion, to reach a better or higher state of mind. And that's why, in the sense of, while for 5 minutes I'm a bit unhappy about the discussion, I'm actually quite happy at the end and afterwards, because it enables me to grow and be better. So we need freedom of expression. We need to have discussions, and that's why I'm also happy to have this discussion on the freedom of expression today with John Neri. And we are very much looking forward to hearing from you, John. Thank you so much, Carrie, for moderating this. I'm looking forward not only to the talk now, but also to the Q&A discussion later on. Thank you so much for coming, and yeah, looking forward to all the results that we'll find.